You don't deserve to live! Diana. Beaten by a mere man. No. You've lost everything. No. I beat you. Lex Luthor!
What if I told you one of DC's biggest villains is the only thing keeping humanity alive in the universe? What if I told you that everything you think you know, even about the most powerful beings, is the very thing holding you back? And what if there was only one man who sees it all? Only one man who has the gall, nay, the gumption, to stand up to them. Let's talk about Lex Luthor, baby. And okay, trust me, I know what you're thinking to yourselves. Lex Luthor is clearly a villain. He's done villainous stuff, you know? And I'm actually here to agree with you. He's a selfish, ignorant, arrogant man. A small, petty little person in his spirit, you know? But let's take a step farther into the more realer aspect of his character and the actual things that he's proposing. And this is the reason why I think he's absolutely right. Like, despite all his flaws, and there are many, I think he's inherently right. And without him, we'd probably die or something. I don't know. Nothing good comes from ignoring Lex Luthor. He is a human, and honestly, that's where we should have always been placing our faith with humanity. Yeah, I would even say Batman, but he chooses to fly around with these aliens. So you gotta imagine, right? In this world, we've got flying aliens living in our cities, destroying our cities, along with their super-powered police force patrolling the skies. And then we got a man like Lex Luthor, who's honestly, yes, arrogant or not, should be number one. He should be the guy. He has the answers. Now, mind you, yes, I can't stress it enough. The man is petty. All right, the things that run in his mind can make him a small person. But without the presence of someone like, I don't say, Superman, or these other like super powered beings, Lex Luthor would have flourished in this world. He probably would have made it better already. And not only that, there's so many times where his back is really pushed up against the wall. And who does he favor? Humanity. Well, humanity in himself, or humanity or himself, because he is a selfish asshole. he most likely, if it came down to humanity or Lex, he's like, well, I'll figure it out later with humanity. But for the most part, he does still put humanity out first. And I have to appreciate that, at least, I think. And I think when you've got someone like, I don't know, let's say Superman living in your city, stifling the growth of your people, right? Keeping everyone beneath him. You know what? I think Lex Luthor said it best. There's nothing wrong with a good fight. A man of tomorrow is forged by his battles today. And I really think that's like my problem with someone like, let's say, Superman. Because, all right, he's probably more of a menace than Lex Luthor. If we really take a step back and look at what's going on, beyond the fact that he's an extraterrestrial being with godlike powers, walking and floating around our planet, making decisions for our species, he's just like this residential strongman. And he's not really sharing that Kryptonian tech and mass either. Like, beyond punching people, he's not helping anyone but his own ego. That's how I see it, at least. He's just an egotistical man who wants to be right. He wants to teach us all how to be better humans. Somehow, you alien. You know, he brings up most of these threats. You know, the threats that plague our planet are drawn to him. He draws the brainiacs and the Mongols and the dark sides. It's his power that's drawing these things to our planet. He's the reason these outer intergalactic threats are even looking our way at this moment. I'm pretty sure they would have eventually. We got so many metahumans, but he's drawing them there now. How many times does he have to destroy Metropolis and we, the middle class people, rebuild it? I've never seen a comic where Superman is using his super speed to replace all that shit that he did. It's taxpayers. It's taxpayers' money, right? And oddly enough, Lex Luthor's this is the money that goes into fixing the mess, fixing the city destroyed by our so-called hero. That actually brings me to a really good point. There are times where Lex is just genuinely right. You know, where you give the man the chance to cook and he's coming up with something good, you know? And again, you can't let him do it all the time, especially with, you know, people like Superman around. But the man can cook. And then you got stuff like, if you ever seen it, it's Superman the Red Sun. I don't know if you ever seen this, but it's basically a story where Superman is raised by the Soviet Union instead of the Kansas people. So he's a communist, you know, let's have some fun with that. And it's up to Lex to basically save us all, you know. And once Superman was finally out of that picture, Lex made the world a better place. He actually made the world a better place. So not fictionally better, but literally better. And I don't want to spoil too much of that story. It's actually a really good one. They actually have you can watch it. They have the motion comic on YouTube. And you can watch that for free. I would recommend that you do that. It's a really good one. And then there are times where Lex is like, you know, like, all right, maybe we need to get rid of some of these other DC villains, like the Joker. And if you're a fan of the channel, you already know I'm constantly saying this. We need to get rid of the Joker. The Joker is not someone we really want around, is he? Like, I get people like him, but why? Why get rid of him? If you're a hero, you should get rid of him. And let's not forget, Lex was actually president. And he made things better, you know? The middle class thrived. But all we was focusing on, oh no, the heroes, they were suffering. Oh, these new legislations, But the humans, the actual people, they're the ones who prospered. And again, dude's a villain. Like, he is a villain. Like, he's a genuinely bad person. You know, Lex is a terrible, evil person. He really is. I really don't want to take that away just because I think the man has some really great ideas. The things he's done to people who he's actually loved is detestable and disgusting, you know? And the people who's loved him, you know, he's portrayed them in the foulest and most despicable of ways. And sometimes he does that type of stuff for minimum gains, the minimum. So yeah, Lex, he's right. His methods are wrong. Not just wrong, they could have been right if he made some tweaks, you know, just a few minor tweaks here and there. He could have been a little bit more ethically and morally right, and people would have backed him. But instead, he's a selfish, self-absorbed, obsessed with just the recognition of others, and that makes him small and petty in the spirit. And that's what holds him back. That's truly what holds Lex back, you know. But to me, that's the greatest sorrow of Lex Luthor himself as well, you know. And as you know, I always like to, if we can, just like shout out some of these actors, because, you know, like Lex wouldn't be who he is without, you know, excellent screen portrayals. So, you know, everyone knows the OG, Gene Hackman on that 1978 Superman. That was definitely my guy. Definitely love the hair. I didn't know he was bald when I was a kid. And that's a story for a whole other time. I might even do a Christopher Reeves joint, because my favorite one out of that might surprise you. It might surprise you. But that's my guy. He was a little campy, over the top, but he was less of that corporate mastermind and more of like a real estate obsessed supervillain. And it was nice, you know. Then we got Kevin Spacey, and that was from that Superman Returns. And that actually came up when I was a kid, or like a teenager. It was a big part where they shot the gun, boom, you can see the bullet in the eye. And that was okay. He basically gave his impression of Gene Hackman, I think. We got Jesse Eisenberg, and now a lot of people don't like his portrayal. But I thought it was nice, those little like goofy quirks and stuff like that. I thought they were cool, you know? And I would have liked to see how that would have farther developed. I think he definitely had the right look, especially that bald one. I thought that was the right look. You know, then Michael Rosenberg, Michael Rosenbaum. Gosh, I'm going to just murder your name, bro. I'm sorry, but you actually are my favorite Lex Luthor. Smallville, I used to watch Smallville, man, like, yo, so much. It even hurt me when you left that show. I was like, oh my gosh. I even watched that podcast he has. If y'all haven't seen it, they got a podcast. It is phenomenal. If you love Smallville, please watch that joint. It's a chef's kiss, definitely. And then we got my second favorite, and that's basically from the DCAU, and that's the GOAT himself, Clancy Brown. And that's basically, he the one who did the Justice League animated series, and Justice League Unlimited. So I think when it comes to like Lex Luthor voices, he's extremely iconic. Like, I hear his voice in my sleep and I know which Lex I'm talking to. So that's pretty much conclude this video. I'm not going to be doing too many of those AI videos anymore because it felt weird, like I wasn't doing it right. I really appreciate the love, guys. I appreciate that you guys coming out and listening and all that. I'm glad to see we got a bunch of DC fans out here too. I'm going to be switching into some Marvel stuff too as well, and I'm gonna have a regular voiced Marvel Avengers, Ultimate Marvel Avengers coming out as well. So if you like this kind of content and you enjoy it, please like, subscribe. Again, stay sharp, stay Brock, stay zoned.
It's such a waste. You and Superman could have been friends, and instead you're going to die.
Ah, but he'll die first.